They'll be calling you a radical. So this is big breaking news coming out of Alaska. So they've closed the 65-year-old Chinook salmon derby, completely closed. It's a month-long derby. The commercial number, they have emergency whacked it big time, clear down to 130,000. Starting April 1st, they emergency cut the Chinook salmon number. You can't even keep one. And they're this is going clear till June, and then they'll reevaluate. They have boys out there, they know these numbers. And of course, there's breaking news on the Department of Energy as he's in Paducah right now with scumbag McConnell. There's all kinds of breaking news on the collusion corruption between Murray. Remember that coal mining scumbag that collapsed the mine in Utah and killed, had illegals in there, that scumbag? And remember the picture taking? Now the piece of shit New Yorkers finally done a piece. They won't do a piece on Fukushima. I mean, after the fact, they interviewed me. Get this, I'm in the New York City airport. I was at JFK in a snowstorm full of cancer, and they come up and talk to me. The Princeton Review and them came in. I've been interviewed by so many people, it's unbelievable. They all back out. Oh, what, hot Watergate. Oh, I'll make hot water. All these different people's gonna make these talk, gonna help me out, and they all think because they can't handle Fukushima. They can't handle it. This is important. The collusion that's going between Murray now and the DOE and Rick Perry, they're accusing him of faking into the bill, into the budget, a total lie on the grid number, which we know they're up to that. You know, the propagandists on the nuclear industry. So the salmon emergency numbers are in earnest right now. So the Pacific Council's meeting as we speak in Portland right now today. I was in Northern California. I watched the collusion with my own eyes. I got kicked out, ran out of town because they don't want to hear it. And this is real important to all of you. This hypothesis, this somehow has been collapsing is a lie, is a total lie. Record returns on the Columbia River, on the Copper River, all over Alaska, Washington, Oregon. Now that piece of shit Suzuki's coming out, that phony fraud who backed out of the Fukushima dynamic, everybody's coming out, you know, because the reality's hitting them in the face now. We don't count dead wells. Oh, I do. We don't count dead tide pools and dead freaking, hey, nobody wanted to believe me, so I walked the whole coast of California over a 5-year period full of cancer and documented the dead tide pools. You know, I've done all this incredible work all over the world, protested everywhere and every place and everything. Why I'm dying of cancer. Give it 2 months to live full of it. Stood right here. I stood right here. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. These liars, it's going to give you leukemia. Don't believe them. They're lying, they're lying, they're lying. Then, right there, I got leukemia. Give it 2 months to live. My doctors even didn't think I'd live. I walked the whole coast of California dying of cancer because you guys wouldn't believe me. You know, people spit at me, turn their back on me. So, hear me out. The Copper River in Alaska, the big, thick, get your Copper River cuts, their number that came in 2015, 1.3 million. Projections for 2016 of 1.7 million. Came in at 800,000. Projections of 2017 of 2.3 million came in at 720,000. The Fraser's in total collapse. Let's talk about the Columbia. The Columbia is the big one. That's the big, I mean, the Bonneville Dam right there, we count every single salmon. 20, based on escapement, the projections came right in at the number. What were the projections? The projections on the Columbia River tire drainage were for 2015, 1.35 million. What'd they come in at? 1.37 million, right on the money. Projections for 2016. Now remember, they had record returns in 2013, 2014. I mean, they grandstand all over. You could look it up. They're bragging at their record returns they had in 2013, over 1 million. They're bragging about it. Then it went to 1.2 million, then 1.3 million. They're projecting 1.7 million returning based on the same projections on escapement. For 2016, Kevin Blanch is screaming, they're lying, they're not plugging in. Well, they're not lying, they're not plugging in Fukushima. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're fucking stumped. No, they're galled and handcuffed, go along with the winning team, lazy fucking pieces of shit. Took fucking the money over their own health. Fucking die of cancer. By the way, Dirty Herbie Governor, right here, Governor Herbert, lied to me, lied to my face on this campus. Told me that Energy Solutions was out, would not sign this bill. Oh, he signed it, he lied to me. Can't get general, I mean, Mike Lee's own father lied to me on this campus. His father died young of cancer, yet they're all for this. This is a catastrophe. The Great Pacific Genocide, you wouldn't believe me. Maybe you'll believe me now. You know, and I'll say this, I was just thinking about this. The whole group that I went into the bone marrow transplant and LDS with, I was just thinking about it. I mean, how Judy right here, you know, Chris, freaking Dana, you know, Carla, my lifelong best friend Paul. So many of us went in. I'm the only one left alive. You know, I was too sick for a bone marrow transplant. I fight for her. Karma's very real. You guys want to play this karma and deny? Go ahead. So, the projection for 2016 on the Columbia River was, these are Chinook salmon, kings. The average one goes to sea for 5 years. I said they'll collapse in 2016. On cue, like I said, they came in at 680,000. That's how projections of 1.7 million. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Our models are all blown up. Noah's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. ODFW, WFW, these lions, I mean, they're all like, whoa, whoa, we can't figure it out, blah, 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 blah. Oh, God, you know, I'm walking the coast of California. Noah, not our job. Everybody's not our job. These academia professors all need to be lined up. You know, everybody's gone along, the media, the New Yorker, the Princeton Review, freaking the Times, the Post, freaking the bloggers, everything's okay. Every one of them need to be lined up. You branded yourself in history, so did I. It's a catastrophe. So the projections for 2017 on the Columbia were 2.3 million. They came in at 480,000. And this is important. That's by number, not by weight. By weight. Because I'm talking, I mean, Tim and these guys, they're half salmon. I'm up there. I'm talking to them. I'm with them. I talk to them every day. They're like, I talked to Tim yesterday. He says one of the NOAA execs they had out on the boat, they fished all day, and he brought up Fukushima with him, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, you know, nobody's talking about that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, why? You know, and I mean, to think you could pour this into the Pacific Ocean for 2,600 days, non-stop all day, every day, and there's no byproduct for that? Oh, we're testing for radio? How do you test for something you don't even know what it is? It's Fuktonium, I call it. It's a synergistic effect. It's a gas. I mean, it's the ecology, stupid. This is a catastrophe. So right now, today, as we speak, the run's on. There's 44 in the entire Columbia drainage run. 44, you heard me right. That's running at 2% the 10-year mean, 2% of the 4-year mean. That's even incorporating last year's horrible number. It's a catastrophe. The Pacific Ocean Island. I mean, you think you're above this. You really think you're above this. All these academia professors, everybody's going, the print media. Oh my God, everybody that turned their back on me. You know, I mean, it's outrageous. You think about it. If I wouldn't have walked the coast of California, documented those typos, all that, wouldn't have got done. I mean, it's a recording in history. I did it at the Megan Rice freaking trial. Who's she? They put her in freaking prison, an 85-year-old nun for breaking in. You know, Dorothy Day raised her. That's my favorite radical. I mean, these people, because it got out of vogue, you just jumped on whatever, YouTube, everybody. They squashed me. They went over. They destroyed my view count. They did. I mean, I had the early Fukushima video that I put up the day that it happened. Facebook alone, it had 130,000 views. We have screen captures of it. A few days later, they knocked down the view count to 11,000. I'm like, well, oh, we took a while outside. I mean, they've played such games with me, attacked me. You know, I had open heart surgery less than a year ago. You think about it. I mean, what a path, what a story, what a thumbprint on everybody. Everybody turned their back on me, you know. I've done this whole historic work on less than $50,000 in 7 years. How's that possible? I don't know. Sleeping on park benches. I was sleeping in a sleeping bag walking up and down. So I don't know how I didn't die. You know, what a story. So Alaska's emergency closing. They're panicking. They're in panic mode. You know, Idaho, steelhead are on the verge of extinction. The Willamette is running less than last year, and the Willamette came in at 2,900 for the year, steelhead, on projections of 29,000. 10-year mean of 45,000. It's a catastrophe. But it's all about come fishing, come spend your money, whatever. You trade, I mean, economy, science fiction, you trade in your health for somebody else's wealth. You ain't getting it. Governor Herbert, I will never forgive you for this. I will never forgive any of you. Karma's very real. Hope you don't get cancer, because I've seen your types. These fake biologists, these fake grandstanders, these fake environmentalists. I've seen their types. They get cancer. Oh, they die fast. I'm head of the support group. I see it every day. I know who can fight, and I know who can live and who won't. That's who built the nuclear reactors at Fukushima, Japan. That's who built them. I taught at the #1 school business in the country when they were. They hate me. They took my PhD, they took my MBA, they took my freaking, I mean, they've stripped me of everything. Why do I use this bag? Why do I use this bag? That's the bag. Because the agencies, they're the referee. They're the referee in the 1972 gold medal basketball game. That's who they are. What a metaphor. What a metaphor. If you don't know about that, Google it. Stan Tuna, This is a Catastrophe, The Great Pacific Genocide, the greatest PhD in human history, by Kevin D. Blanche. First you hypothesize, then you do the field work. Then you defend your work. What a story. Kevin Blanche, AML, de novo leukemia, given 2 months to live 6.5 years ago. Survivor. Remember, survivor. I'm proud of it. One last thing. One last thing. Last of the Mohicans. Last of the Mohicans. Tariffs are good. Trade war? Yeah, we don't export anything but war and bombs. When's Trump going to put tariffs on once you start wearing those Trump girl shoes? I don't see no tariffs on his wife and his daughter's shoe purse freaking factory. Stay tuned.